This proves the New York Knicks are as locked in as ever to trying to win the 2026 NBA Finals, as we have a huge update regarding multiple Knicks and also another move that the Knicks just made with this guy right here that's going to help the team out so much in a lot of different ways, specifically in regards to some of the younger players who have found themselves in a lot of trade talks. So there's a lot to go over in this video, guys, and we're going to jump right into it as always. But guys, real quick before we do, if you are part of that 56% that's not subscribed to Knicks Digest, make sure to subscribe for daily New York Knicks updates. We have a lot of great videos coming out every single day on the Knicks. Multiple videos a day is going to be coming soon as well, because guys, basketball season is officially back. We're officially through one game in MSG with the New York Knicks, where the Knicks defeated the Timberwolves of a score of, I am recording this before the game happened, but I am going to say the Knicks won because I know the Knicks won the game, because the Knicks are better than the Minnesota Timberwolves, as much as I do love Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo. Not the point of the video. The point is, the Knicks just proved they are more locked in than ever, and ahead of this Timberwolves matchup, one thing we did hear from Karl-Anthony Towns is that he said he feels like a Knick. Even when he hears stuff about the Timberwolves now, he's like, I feel like a Knick now, which has been something huge, because obviously Towns is one of the greatest Minnesota Timberwolves of all time, and that'll never be taken away from him. Towns leads that team in a bunch of different stats, and also just gave them 9 years of great memories that he deserves to keep with the Timberwolves and that Timberwolves fans deserve to have. Karl-Anthony Towns saw the Timberwolves come back from a team that was uninspiring, had not made the playoffs in over a decade, acquired Jimmy Butler. Obviously, that had its issues, but he was part of the first team that made it back into playoff basketball, and further than that, made it to the Western Conference with the Timberwolves. So this is a guy who really has spent a lot of great years in Minnesota, oversaw the change, was the biggest reason because of the change being that franchise cornerstone for so long, before Anthony Edwards slowly started to take that role away. However, Towns now in New York is part of one of the best 1-2 punches in basketball with him and Jalen Brunson. They're the only two guys to both be all-star starters going into this season, and Towns spoke a lot on his time with the Knicks and why he's so locked in now more than ever. And Steve Popper also talked about the situation with Cat and with Mike Brown, with everyone saying, with Mike Brown taking over as the coach, there is an emphasis on running the floor, and Towns is likely to be shifted from center to power forward to make room for Mitchell Robinson in the starting lineup, a move that the team could not make last season with Robinson injured and sidelined or limited for most of the season. The first test Thursday seemed to work fine, with Robinson dominating the glass and Towns free to roam offensively, utilizing his skills as a shooter and a passer. But even though he took a similar role for his final 2 seasons in Minnesota after the Timberwolves acquired Rudy Gobert, he is unsure of what this one will bring, just that he will handle it willingly, with Towns saying, I think for me, I've got a lot of experience playing both sides, and now I'm still figuring out all of this for now for this year's team. Forgive me, I'm trying to figure it out for myself where I fit in and where I can be the most effective still. What I can say is I've experienced playing with both positions. I think it's going to be a little more, feeling more seamless usually. You walk into a game, you know you'll be the 5 today. Then you walk into a game and you know you'll be the 4 today. I think for me, it's going to be more of like I could be the 5 or 4 or 5 for 4 minutes and then be the 4 for 2 minutes, then go back to the 5. So I think that's going to be a little different for me, where I'm going to be so fluid on what my position is. I'm working on just making sure I'm ready for whatever the case may be with us. What I'm learning about our team and the way that we want to play, I'm going to do whatever is needed to win. That's always what I wanted to do and how I work. So nothing shall change this year. So Karl-Anthony Towns going out there, showing not much is going to change, and we don't want much to change. The man put up 24.5 points per game last year with 13 rebounds and 3 assists, shooting 42% from 3 and 52% from the field. We could not have asked for better basketball from Cat. The man showed that he is as good as advertised and has been one of the huge reasons why the Knicks are one of the favorites to win the NBA Finals. He also spent 4 games at the power forward starting last season, and that was in the final 4 games of the Eastern Conference Finals, where he started alongside Mitchell Robinson. The one cause for concern was the fact that he shot 29.4% from 3, but something we have to be very aware of is it's those final 2 games where he did kind of go colder from 3, going 1 for 8 in his final 2. The games before that he was fine, hit nearly half of his threes. 4 for 9 overall, so 45% around. So obviously pretty good there. Pretty good. Very, very, very good there. So Cat has shown that he absolutely can play the 4. We saw it in Minnesota, and yeah, maybe the freedom to post up goes a little bit by the wayside, but it's not a team that also has Naz Reid like the Timberwolves. We're going to see Cat play a good deal of minutes at the 5. I expect him to almost be 50-50, or even though he's starting at the power forward, I wouldn't be shocked if he's like 60-40 center, and then playing those 40% at the power forward. The Knicks are going to stagger Cat's minutes with Mitchell Robinson's minutes, for the most part. It's also, we have to be aware, Mitchell Robinson is not playing back-to-backs. There's going to be plenty of games this year where Cat starts at the 5, and the Knicks are either starting Josh Hart, Deuce McBride, Gershon Yabusele, like, probably more than one of them is going to get a start too, even if they're all healthy. There's a chance that's like, oh, well, Josh Hart's going to start this game. Let's see if that lineup that was used so much last year can find ways to fix that issue of just a big helping off of Josh Hart. Or maybe we look at it, say, all right, let's see a 5-out unit, maybe a little bit undersized, but with Deuce McBride, we get a full 5-out, 3 excellent attacking defenders. The point guard and the center, not good defenders, but the other 3 guys, absolutely excellent. OG also just as versatile as anyone on the defensive end. And then also, we could take a look at what if we start Yabusele, go full-blown offense on this team, get a physical front court between OG, Yabu, and Cat that also spaces the floor out and a 5-out as well, but just a different kind of 5-out. The Knicks have different options. It's the beauty of this team right now, and Mike Brown is someone who likes to exercise all options. Mike Brown made it very clear already that every single player who's on this team right now, in this training camp, in this preseason point, is going to get a chance to play on the MSG floor before the Knicks can make any final decisions so they can get a good test of everyone. That's not something Thibodeau did. Mike Brown's made it a point of that, and also with the front office having a bit of a say in what Mike Brown's going to do, which is something that Brown sort of was very okay with, saying that he was open to collaboration with the front office. Even though a lot of this is going to be Mike Brown's call, he will listen to the front office as well. It was just part of the deal for the job. It's what the Knicks wanted, and it's what's going to happen. So we're going to see that all go down. We're going to see the Knicks give a lot of different looks, get a lot of different chances for a lot of different units. Look, Tibbs never played Brunson, Deuce, Mikal, OG, and Cat. Mike Brown did in game 2. So we know this is going to happen. We know there's going to be different units, and that is something that we should definitely be excited about. I mean, I'm thrilled to see that we're going to see a bunch of different units out here on the floor for the Knicks. I think it's absolutely perfect. But on top of that, we do have more updates to go over, and that surrounds this man right here. As we do have a huge update regarding the Knicks, showing one more reason why they're locked in, is they're still making staff additions. As the New York Knicks added Mark Tyndale as an assistant for player development. Tyndale was previously an assistant with the Portland Trail Blazers under Chauncey Billups. Prior, Tyndale was a player development coach under the Toronto Raptors with Nick Nurse, is familiar with OG Anunoby. Now, that was announced by Michael Scotto, and we see that the Knicks already have a pretty stacked up just coaching staff as it is. In a recent poll of GMs, it was asked who the best assistant coach in the NBA is. You might be familiar with the number 1 winning name, Mike Nori, as the Knicks did interview Mike Nori for the Knicks head coaching job. Outside of that, you would definitely be familiar with the second name on that list because he coached the Knicks for quite a long time, making the NBA Finals with them, and Jeff Van Gundy, who, to this day, I still will stand by, wish he was the Knicks head coach. I've said it for years. I said it all throughout the Thibodeau era, and I'm going to say it all throughout the Mike Brown era because Jeff Van Gundy should be the Knicks head coach. But you also might be familiar with the third name on this list, Royal Ivey, because Royal Ivey was a longtime Knicks assistant. The Knicks brought him in hopes for him to try to sway Kevin Durant to the Knicks back in 2019. Didn't work out, but Ivey was with player development with the Knicks as well. You also might recognize Sam Cassell, based off the fact that Sam Cassell was mentioned a lot for that Knicks head coaching job. A lot of fans did want the Knicks to poach Cassell from Boston or run a very similar system to what Joe Mozzarella runs. So when we consider that, another name we know. And then Chris Quinn, who I brought up a little bit on the channel as well for a potential Knicks head coaching job, although Quinn does like his job in Miami. Other guys receiving votes, James Borrego, who the Knicks interviewed out in New Orleans. Darren Erman of the New York Knicks. Darvin Ham got votes, apparently. Juwan Howard in Brooklyn. Chris Gent in New York as well. We then see a few other names here that aren't Knicks guys, but Josh Longstaff, who the Knicks held interest in for that job as well. Remember, the Knicks were very interested in Josh Longstaff, did some preliminary looks on him. Jerry Stackhouse, who the Knicks did some preliminary looks on. Sean Sweeney, who the Knicks did preliminary looks on. Wes Unseld Jr. in Chicago. We saw them do a lot. So basically what I'm saying is the Knicks have been very diligent with who they're hiring. Almost every name on this list has either been with the Knicks at some point under the Leon Rose era. Important to note that Royal Ivey was there before Leon Rose. They did have a little bit of overlap, I believe, though. They did. They overlapped for like a little bit, like maybe like a couple months. Outside of that, though, you look again, Darren Erman and Chris Gent both getting votes with New York. Borrego, I mean, he was a big candidate for the coaching situation. Longstaff, Knicks considered. Stackhouse, Knicks considered. Sweeney, the Knicks considered. So, and then obviously Norrie and Sam Cassell, other people who the Knicks liked. So we see all this. The Knicks are diligent with their coaching is really what I'm trying to say here. And we also saw our friends New York Basketball over on Twitter say that new Knicks assistant coach Mark Tyndale, with the brown pants on, jumps on OG Anunoby after his Game 3 bubble buzzer beater over Boston in the 2020 Eastern Conference semifinals. Now, I challenge all of you to, right now, I'll give you 5 seconds to do it. Say Game 3 bubble buzzer beater over Boston 3 times fast. Let's see if you could do it. No, you can't. Or can you? Let me know if you could. A little fun game to play. But on top of that, we also saw he coached in Portland with Josh Hart. And he, like Rick Brunson, was a star at Temple, close to Hall of Fame coach John Chaney, so deep Philly roots as well with some of the Knicks guys. I mean, obviously, Cat located near the Philly area initially, JB located near that area as well, with his dad being Temple and JB being at Villanova. So the Knicks are building up these connections and also adding very well-respected coaches for teams that have won championships or just been really, really helpful to other development throughout. I mean, we've seen Denny Avia have a huge jump in production as well. Something that's important to see here because Avia went over to Portland and his game did improve a lot. Had his best season to date, putting up 17 points per game over in Portland and just looked really, really good in that span as well, getting 7 rebounds as well. The man was nice. He put up 4 assists with that. Avia had his best season in the NBA under Tyndale as an assistant, so we see that. And also when we look at a guy like Pacome Dadier, who put up in the G League in the 23 games he appeared in, 14 points per game and 5 rebounds, but could use the efficiency bump. Hopefully Tyndale helps out with that. Guys, what do you want to see out of all this? How trusted are you with the Knicks system on working? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day. Game 3 bubble buzzer beater over Boston. Game 3 bubble buzzer beater over Boston. I can't do it. Have a great day. Go Knicks.